Section 6.4, example 6. On page 455, we have to write an expression with rational exponents in simplest form. Write every exponent as a positive number. So in example 6, it says, what is the expression in simplest form? For part A, we have negative 8x times the square root of xy, all raised to the 2/3 power. The first step to simplify this expression is to break it all apart. So we're going to distribute this 2/3 power to every piece of the expression. So first we have negative 8, raise that to the 2/3 power. Next we have an x, raise that to the 2/3 power. And then we have the square root of xy. We can rewrite the square root of xy as xy to the 1/2 power, and then raise that to the 2/3 power. You can think of this previous step as distributing that exponent. A helpful way to rewrite negative 8 is negative 2 cubed. Again, notice there is a 3 in the denominator of this outside exponent. So if we can write negative 8 as something cubed, it's going to simplify our exponent overall. Then we keep our x to the 2/3, and now we had xy to the 1/2, all raised to the 2/3 power. We can combine those exponents by multiplying straight across. So 1 times 2 gives us 2, 2 times 3 gives us 6, so 2 over 6 simplifies to 1 over 3. Or you could have noticed there was a 2 on the top and a 2 on the bottom. They'd become 1 and you'd be left with 1 over 3. Now we can simplify this first part, negative 2 cubed to the 2/3 power, multiplying straight across, or you can see there's a 3 in the numerator, 3 in the denominator. We're going to end up with just a second power. So we have negative 2 to the second power. Again, bring down your x to the 2/3 power. Over here we have xy both raised to the 1/3 power, so we can distribute that power out and split them up. This gives us x to the 1/3 times y to the 1/3. Now we can simplify negative 2 squared as 4. X to the 2/3 times x to the 1/3. We can combine these two pieces by adding the exponents. We have the same base being multiplied. Add the exponents, 2/3 plus 1/3 gives us 1, so that's just x. And then we still have our y to the 1/3. So our final answer could be 4xy to the 1/3 power, or we can rewrite it in radical form, 4x times the cube root of y. So instead of y to the 1/3 in exponential form, we can rewrite it in radical form. Part B says 16y to the negative 8th power, all raised to the negative 3 over 4th power. The first thing we're going to do is distribute this negative 3 over 4th exponent into the 16 and the y to the negative 8. So now we have 16 to the negative 3/4 power and y to the negative 8 all raised to the negative 3/4. A helpful way to rewrite 16 is 2 to the 4th power. Always check the denominator and see if you can rewrite the base so that it has an exponent that either matches the denominator or can simplify it. So now we have 2 to the 4th raised to the negative 3/4 power times y to the negative 8 raised to the negative 3/4. We can multiply these two exponents to get negative 8 times negative 3 gives us 24, divided by 4 will give us just y to the 6th. We can do the same thing with our 2 to the 4th raised to the negative 3 over 4th power. The 4 in the numerator and denominator will undo each other to create a 1, and we're left with just 2 to the negative 3rd power. Bring down your y to the 6th. In order for this to be simplest form, we can't have any negative exponents. In order to make this negative 3rd power a positive, we need to move it into the denominator. The y to the 6th is already positive, so it stays up top, and we'll have y to the 6th over 2 to the positive 3rd power. 2 to the 3rd is the same as 8, so our final answer is going to be y to the 6th divided by 8. The work for part A is written out on the next slide, followed by part B. And now I would like you to try number 13. Write each expression in simplest form. We have 3x to the 2/3 power, all raised to the negative 1st power.